Patrick, whilst I have you on the line, there was a purported leaked document supposedly reporting on adverse events linked to the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. It's dominated Twitter trends and has been the subject of much discussion. What is your response to those documents that have been released?
Yeah, so I just want to make it clear, there's no documents that have been released. This is one of those social media stories that for us is very difficult to comment on. So we take adverse events, let me start by saying that we take adverse events very seriously. All adverse events related to the vaccine get reported to the FDA and in South Africa, the South African drug authorities. They get investigated, and there's a clear investigation in whether there is any causality between the use of a vaccine and any potential side effects. So while for me it's difficult to comment on fabricated or wild stories on the internet, we do have publicly accessible data with regards to the side effects of the vaccine that are available on drug authority websites. And I would recommend people that are really interested in that to look at the authorities and not trust everything that's on social media. Are you putting it on the record that the documents that have been circulated on social media are not authentic? Well, I cannot comment on them. I haven't seen them. I don't look at these documents as a rule.
Do you think that part of the mistrust by members of the public of the pharmaceutical industry as a whole and in general has been a big contributing factor to vaccine hesitancy, not only here but around the world?
Well, trust is always an important factor, obviously, and I think a lot of factors go into trust. I think when it comes to vaccine hesitancy in particular, every country is different. And I think especially here in sub-Saharan Africa, there is a very strong belief, for example, in traditional medicine and in other treatments over the use of what I would call then a modern vaccine. But there are also just plain conspiracy theories, and people like to have these conspiracy theories that contribute to vaccine hesitancy in many countries. We're trying to address those. We work with governments on vaccination campaigns. We're very open on our social media platforms. People can ask us any and all questions, and we'll gladly answer them through our scientific colleagues. But it's very difficult to deal with something like social media and traditional beliefs that go against modern vaccination campaigns. Having said that, South Africa itself is close to 50% vaccination rates. I spoke to many companies that are between 70 and 80%. And it's allowing the country to slowly open up again. So all I can say is for people to really make sure that they get their shots and make sure they are vaccinated, because you're contributing to an open economy and creating jobs. I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that well over 2 million jobs were lost during the pandemic in South Africa, and I think it's upon all of us to make sure that we generate these jobs again and get people back to work. And I think the vaccine is a key contributor to that.
Patrick van der Loo, I can tell you twice now, I have had the dreaded plague COVID-19, and both times I've been very, very glad that in my arm I had the Pfizer jab. I appreciate your time this morning. Patrick van der Loo, the Pfizer Regional President of the Middle East and Africa.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.